I had this thought the other day, and I thought this might be a good place to come share it. But why are we as human beings sort of designed to be so measured and calculated in everything we do and everything we say? I mean, think about it. Have you ever erased a text, rewritten your text before you sent it because you're worried about trying to say the exact right thing, or you're worried about figuring out the best way to phrase what it is that you're trying to get across? I sort of envy people who just say whatever comes to their mind and are not so worried thinking about and trying to measure and decide the best way to present themselves. Don't get me wrong, guys. I am not trying to permeate or propagate or whatever the word is supposed to be this idea that that editing is bad, or that being thoughtful is bad. However, I do think that there is a difference between being thoughtful and being measured. And it's a very, very fine line, but the line exists. So let me explain to you the difference, the way I see it in my mind anyway. Being thoughtful, which I consider to be a really good attribute to have, is taking into consideration the situation. It's taking into consideration the person that you're interacting with, and even your own thoughts and feelings of whatever it is in that moment. However, being measured is trying to find the exact words or phrases that present you in the best possible light or that impresses the other person. Do I think it's possible to be measured and thoughtless at the same time? Absolutely. And it is a very dangerous thing. It's dangerous because it takes you out of that thing, that experience, that moment, that interaction, whatever it is. Your identity, your true thoughts, your true feelings are lost from that message, that measured message. And I think this is something that we're all kind of guilty of. You know what? Actually, scratch that. I don't want to use the word guilty because that gives off the idea that this is some kind of terrible sin that we're committing. It sort of implies that being measured is some sort of punishable offense. And I don't want to give that impression. I don't actually think it's such a terrible thing to be measured, but I do believe that it can be a lot more liberating to be thoughtful. So I have an example to use in this discussion. And this is kind of really stupid, but I was on a dating app the other day and I came across a person's profile, and this person described themselves as the best spicy Thai food. I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? Obviously, this was a Thai person. Anyway, I thought they were cute, so I thought I'm gonna reach out to them. But then came the measure. You know, I was going through this process of trying to find the funniest yet most alluring way to reach out to this person and to increase my chances of getting a response from this person. And this is kind of embarrassing to share, but the first thought that immediately came to my mind was, ooh, I love Thai food. Which isn't wrong, it's true. I do love Thai food. And you know, it's very simple. It references what they have on their profile and also kind of plays into the innuendo, right? I don't even know why I'm sharing this. This is so embarrassing. But I started measuring through all the different ways that I could phrase this message, this introductory message, in order to, stand out and most likely get a response back from this person. And my thought process was kind of like, oh, should I say, ooh, I kind of like Thai food? Or should I say, I love Thai food? Does it sound like I'm not that interested if I say I kind of like Thai food? Or do I seem too eager if I say, ooh, I love Thai food? Like I'm just like kind of measuring the best way to present myself in this situation. And this is just a really dumb example, but when you really think about it, doesn't this sound familiar? I mean, there's kind of something that I like to call the societal rule of dating. And I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, it's the questions of what can you do or say in your first message to a person? How do you say things to garner more attention? What do you lead with in conversations? I guarantee if you went and searched these questions on Google right now, you will see so many websites and pages and blog posts and all sorts of things that are giving you all these tips and tricks and guides to online dating and conversations and all of that. But running through all of these rules and guides is not so much being thoughtful as it is being measured. And the reason I think this is because you're sort of losing yourself to the idea of a proper or more effective way to present yourself. But when is it okay to just say what you want to say the way you want to say it? And of course, this applies to much more than just the online dating world. Ultimately, it's not such an easy thing to break free from. I'm not sure if it's the same for everyone, but on my part, being measured is almost sort of cultural. It's kind of a habit that I built from a very young age and have become very accustomed to. You know, that art of presenting yourself or presenting oneself in the very best possible light is one that many of us have been tied to for a very, very long time, for as long as we can remember. And now that I think about it, this kind of relates to what I spoke about in my last video as well. But being measured just takes so much time and effort. And I don't think being thoughtful takes as much time and effort out of you. And even if it does take time and effort to be more thoughtful, you're more likely to find yourself in that process than you are to lose yourself, which is ultimately what you do when you're measured. I just think that being measured never actually does anything for us. Because you know what? Guess what? I never got a response from that person. And I truly believe that regardless of what I said, if I spent more time really, really measuring out exactly the right thing to say, the outcome would have been the same because that person just wasn't interested in me, which is perfectly fine. But what's the point in the measurement if the result is the same? Now, you might argue that some people do see results from, following the rules and the guides, the tips and the tricks to successful online dating or conversations or whatever else is out there. It's true, being measured can get you the results that you're hoping for sometimes. But are you going to commit to measuring every single thing you say and do from that point on? Like, you get that result the first time, it works out for you, and that's great. But now, do you have to keep presenting yourself in that measured way every single time you interact with that person? At what point do you make the switch to just being you? I think I need to take a step back here and reevaluate and just tread carefully, because I think I'm starting to venture more into the don't be measured idea and not so much the it's okay to not be so measured idea. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, that this is me being thoughtful. Look at that. Like, we're not even in a, like face to face conversation right now. I'm talking to a camera, but I am being thoughtful or trying to be anyway. But the main idea that I'm trying to get across here is that it's okay to not be so measured all the time. I don't want to discourage you or anyone from following the tips, the tricks, and the guides. They do work for some people. And for some people who are learning how to engage in social conversations or different things like that, some of these tips and tricks could be very, very helpful. But I also really want to encourage you to just be you when you want to be, when it feels right. It's okay to not want to put in the work that comes with measuring. When a person sees you and you are just you and they appreciate you for you, that is infinitely more satisfying. So I've come on here just to share my little 2 cents and let you know that it's okay to just be you for who you are. to let go and to not be so measured all the time. And listen, I'm gonna try to do the same thing myself too. You know, I've been coming on here and giving all this advice and stuff, and I better be trying to take my own advice myself too. So, you know, I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can to also follow the things that I talk about on here. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the video today. As always, I'm EJ, and if you would like to see more videos from me in the future, then feel free to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.